more than the specialized bikes,
You need to be
though.
able to advertise better.
It's no more than the specialized,
You see Ford's new
and those
pickup
were
truck?
the motors.
Did you put him on the poster board out there? The
Yeah,
bike,
he's on,
is he?
yeah.
Oh, good.
You mean like the welcome to
That
Middleton?
directory thing?
Oh, I just saw John again today, we're working with the graphic artist to get the whole thing, cause we're gonna put C's on there.
Something said it on there.
Oh, I thought you meant over here.
No, I wanna put him on that.
No, but I am working on it, we're getting a redesign and we'll get it reprinted. Cause C's should probably be on there too,
Who?
C's Cafe,
Oh,
so I'm just going through and making sure I don't miss any other hot spots. But we're
Well, a bunch
working,
of people don't come down this far. They drive.
I know, they turn
drive
around.
that parking lot,
right.
and they go up the path and down the path, and they leave.
it is live now, just so you know.
We ready then?
Yep, oh, wait,
All right, let's go ahead and call the Street Sidewalks and Utilities Committee meeting to order for June 8th. Leslie, would you take the roll, please?
Hein,
Yes.
Hornung,
I am here.
Garlic.
Here. Here.
Any additions or deletions? We have the revised one in front of us. That's up to date. We'll let Ben quit playing ping pong over there for a second.
I can't. Must be Candy Crush. That's what it sounds like.
All right, we got the minutes from May 11th, which I missed, down in Carolinas, so.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes as they are written.
All right, all in favor?
Aye. Second.
All right, and I'll abstain. Old business, the budget. Leslie, thank you for printing out this thing for us.
No problem. Did anyone have any questions about it or want any clarification or?
Well, what I was curious, I'm never very good with these 30-page reports, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Is there any, and I appreciate it, us getting it, but is there, you know, like, there's the general fund, then there's the water, then there's the sewer, then there's the this, can we, you know, if you go to page 9, where it has all the totals, could we, like, for each of one, I mean, I don't know, do you guys want all this detail each meeting, or I'd be happy to just see all the different categories summarized within the grand totals? Like
Yes.
7 lines, or whatever that would be.
Yeah, so normally, I neglected on this one, I normally put the statement of cash position, which just gives you your running totals. I can always just give the last, if you just want the budget expense, like the very last line of each fund.
Yeah, so like on, you know, page 9 again, we've
Yeah.
got the grand total, and there's a subtotal for each of the different categories. Like for me, if we could just get those 7 or 8 subcategories and then the grand total, because you know, like under all of these things, there's janitorial supplies, janitorial services, you know what I mean? There's so much detail. I'd rather just
So-
get the overview.
Those are each of the line items in the fund itself.
No, I understand that.
Oh, okay.
But like, so let's go to page 1 here. Let me flip back to that.
So like, I pulled just the, like I did take out all of the ones in the general fund that, though there is some that still snuck in, like law.
Yeah. So like under the general fund, there's 7 pages of that. Mm-hmm. So then if you go to the 7th page, the AO1 total. So that's
Right.
general fund. So
Yeah.
if we could get a report that has the AO1 line item, and then the BO1 for streets, and then the EO1, you know, so that we have each of the categories of the budget.
Okay.
Unless you guys want to see all of it, but I'd just as soon see, yeah, that way we can just kind of get a macro view. Because typically in these meetings, and I'm not saying the budget has any problems with it, but we go, okay, line item 1, the budget, how's the budget? Looks good, all right, line item 2, you know, we just like to see a little bit more detail.
And then do you want once a quarter, do you want this, or you just want this, you'll just ask if you want it?
I'd like to have it every meeting.
You
unless
want
it's-
more detail or less?
No, the grand
No, I mean
total.
the full detail.
Oh.
Because like, this actually tells you your percentage
I would say
used.
when we request it.
Okay, sounds good.
Everybody good with that?
You still need a snapshot to know where, is June and we're 80% through our budget or 60% through our budget or 50%.
Yeah, it's on here.
I'm saying you do, but
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what.
I'm good with that.
a total,
Okay.
but then we need to know where we are in each of those funds as far as.
Right.
The budget was $1, we've got 60 cents spent and it's July.
And each of those
That's
has
what this
those.
is.
Right,
That's what
Right.
this is.
but it's in a summary sheet, not,
But I'm asking for the grand total.
I can't give you a percentage on that grand total because there's so many different line items and each one is a different amount.
Yeah, but on the very last page of the budget, it shows, where's that at now?
7.
Well, that's.
I mean,
a-
it'll just give you like the random total of everything added together. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
So,
Just
yeah,
know
but-
there'll be a standard deviation on that.
That's
Like,
fine.
Okay.
and so where are sidewalks on this thing?
There are a
Like
couple
every-
different spots.
They're in, see, I hate budgets. I do, they drive me absolutely up a wall.
You know, it's just like with truck maintenance. Truck maintenance comes out of 3 different categories. It comes out of water, it comes out of sewer, it comes out of streets, and it also comes out of service. You know, so
Well, so give me one specific example of where sidewalks are,
I'll
please.
find it for you. Give me 1 second. I don't remember the name of the.
Oh, I know, there's no way to memorize this thing. It's like, I don't know what we.
Okay, so, oh no, that's sidewalk snow plowing. Hold on. Plowing, maintenance, sidewalk.
Other sidewalk snow plowing.
You know what, that line item actually may be under income tax, under B11, which I didn't pull.
I think it is because we do sidewalks out of two funds usually. Sidewalks come out of income tax and then come out of the infrastructure budget.
so was your point on sidewalks?
Just what do we budget for it a year and where are we at? And like, I don't know if we spend $10,000 a year or $50,000 on
We,
sidewalk.
we try to set aside usually about 20,000 between Leslie and I is what our goal is. Sometimes we go over that a little bit, sometimes we're under that. And then we also use the sidewalk money towards catch basins also. If we don't use all of it towards the sidewalks, then we put the rest into catch basins since that's one of
We've-
our biggest issues.
I still haven't even found sidewalks on here yet.
It's not
Oh,
gonna
it's-
be in there
it's-
because
it's
it's in
not gonna be on
B11.
income
It's under
tax and
income tax.
infrastructure. It's not
And
in
I
these.
Now,
didn't
we
put it-
discussed
Line
the
item for it.
Not in
sidewalk
streets.
amount
There's a line item, but not in the streets.
months ago, Joe.
I'm gonna try to pull
It's
it
in
up,
income
Scott.
tax.
Give me 1 second.
We've discussed the dollar amount for sidewalks several times where we're at. And same with
what do we
catch
spend on
basins. Because the catch basins are an ongoing issue anyway. Yeah, I didn't see anything for a sidewalk.
Well, so at any rate, if we do go to page,
Whatever you did out.
no. So if we do go to page 9, then the total budget for the streets department, so to speak, is 1,456.
I'm sorry, wait.
And year-to-date, we've only spent 390,000, but we have 97 in encumbrances, which totals like 480 or whatever, 490. So then there's still 968 unencumbered balance. So we've only used 1/3 of the budget thus far, 5 months through the year. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
which fund were you in? I'm sorry.
Just the last page, page 9, the grand totals.
9 of 9.
Totals, Leslie.
Oh, of the, that's water and sewer. Okay. Or wait, yeah.
So yeah, it looks like we're in good shape, like you guys always said. I just wanted to start learning more about it.
Yeah.
All right, so then.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
So that's
So
sewer.
we've spent
That's sewer.
Oh, that's just
that's the one
sewer?
fund. That's not a, that's,
water and sewer.
you're
That's
you're
just
asking for
sewer.
a total of the entire streets.
Correct.
So it should be EO1, EO2.
No, I'm
EO
going to.
Yeah.
We don't have a
This-
report
this is
like that. I'll
strictly-
have to create it.
This is strictly EO2, the 1456.
That's just the sewer, okay.
That's just the sewer.
That's just the sewer.
So then, yeah, if we could do that, take all those separate fund, that way, like, I don't even know what the budget of the street department is then. Because, we got 7
He
different,
really does.
It's, yeah, I mean, we
it's
could put
in-
it together. It'll
It's
just
in
take a
5
lot.
different funds,
Yeah, it's
7
in
different
different
funds.
But you've got 7 funds here. We need a total on it and where we are total against spent,
Okay, and I'll pull them out of the income tax as well. So it's just gonna take.
summary sheet.
okay, so
Little bit of
we'll
work.
just continue that next meeting.
How often do you need that? Because we have to, that's something we would have to do manually. There's not a report for that.
Wasn't
We'll
there
have
just
to
like,
add them all together and then give them to you.
Isn't there just like seven things, water, sewer?
No, I actually have to go through each line item and find which one relates to sewer. Like, in the B11 is your income tax fund. Of that, there's maybe,
25.
yeah, 25 line items that relate to the utilities, streets, and sidewalks department. So then I'll pull those out. I just need, as long as you tell me what you want, I'll set the time to do it. I just want to make sure I do it right, because,
All right,
It's streets and highway, then there's water and sewer, then
all right,
there's,
let me ask you this. So AO1 is a 7-page report here.
that's our general fund. Those are the line items that come out for this group from, and I did accidentally put in
Files,
some
this isn't
legal.
all of AO1.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
This isn't all of AO1. This isn't all the general fund. These are items out of general
Right.
fund that pertain to streets.
I accidentally
I got
did
that.
include some
So,
legal.
okay, so
stuff.
time out. AO1, you go to page 7, there's a grand total for that category. You go to BO1, streets, MC&R, whatever the heck that stands for.
It's your streets and highways fund,
So BO1 has a grand total on page 2.
right?
Then you got EO1,
that's water,
right? Then EO2, sewer.
sewer.
So those are, is there another one?
Yeah, there will be B11 ones. I'll have to go through the income tax fund and pull out each line item as it relates to sidewalk, streets, and utilities.
Okay, so on this budget that we have in front of us, we see 4 or 5 total categories. AO1, EO1, whatever.
Yeah.
And each one of those has a grand total. So if the report we can get each month just has those 5 lines, and then you have to compile one more out of income tax? 2 more?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Well, how much work is that?
Um,
Because these, you can just,
I'm not sure what you're going to get from it, Scott.
just the total,
I'm not sure what you're going to get, but it's still come out of, the
Yeah.
fund's this big. This many lines apply to streets. So she's going to pull them out.
it'll probably take me a couple hours.
Dollar budget,
well, yeah,
200,000 of it
Not too long.
is spent already on streets. Are you on budget or not on budget?
I don't know, I don't even know what the budget
I
is.
can-
I'm saying, I'm not sure that it's budgeted. Every line item's budgeted. They go through every line, right, Joe?
Yeah,
Say, for chip and seal I need, or salt I need 20,000 next year. So every line's got a budget. So it's more of a line to budget than than total to budget.
I
Okay.
can do it. Just give me a
No,
little.
I don't want you to spend 2 hours putting out numbers, because that's just not.
Or
productive.
maybe just, maybe
If this were everything that
faster.
came in, if AO1 had $10 in it, and we budgeted $10 out of AO1 had $10 in it, we budgeted all $10 went to streets, then you can say, yeah, we're at $5, we're halfway through the year, we're good.
Right.
You don't. AO1's got 4 times what we're showing in this, because it's a fund that's, general fund has got a ton of stuff coming out of it, not
All right,
just
well, if we
streets.
ever have a budget committee, please never put me on it. Because I do not get it.
and here's the
Well,
problem.
that's a problem with government. That's my thing. It is very, very, it's easy
And
to
I
cook the
can ask
books.
Jess or Nick,
Here's-
maybe they do have an easier way to do it, and I just don't know how to do it. And they deal with the program more, so I'll ask them.
I mean, you can ask Ben, I mean, the 4 of us sit in here, the 5 of us sit in here to go over the budget, and that's what we do. We go
Yeah.
line item
Line.
through line item from the beginning to the end.
Police overtime, I need an extra 10 grand this year, we expect this.
Right.
So every line is budgeted, and they got to hold it, I mean, Nick, that's what Nick does, is make
Right.
sure when he does it, they hold them to that line. And if they don't, they've got to say, if we're going over, where do we get it? You know, what line can we take that from?
Right.
So the total budget stays the same, so.
Right.
All right. Well, as long as you guys are all comfortable.
Yeah.
I just, as chairman of the committee, which I haven't been on this committee in a long time, I feel like I should be.
Now you know why.
advised. Yeah. Yeah, right? All right, enough on that. Number 2, 2021, thank you, everybody. Capital improvement projects. A, Thompson Johnson Road paving project.
Everything's coming along really well. Well, we got the sidewalk repairs done that we wanted, some of the aprons with the sidewalks. All that stuff's done, all the castings are adjusted, we're just waiting for them to stop delaying because of the rain. Every time it rains 2 days, we get delayed 2 days. So, you know, that's just where we are in their lineup. We were supposed to happen today. Now they're saying tomorrow, but it rained again today, but they're still able to work. So we'll see if they come out tomorrow.
All that needs done is the final top coat, and we're
Top coat.
done.
What's their contract date, Tom?
Not until after the 25th.
Just gotta give you 30 days.
Yeah, they had plenty of time and they're well within it.
Weather days, and if for whatever reason they have legitimate weather days, that would extend. So,
Con, is that, what is that?
Can't stick to it if they can't meet it. And if you can't.
Yeah,
pay,
but
you
I
can't
can
pay.
justify weather days on it. I can come in late on every project saying weather affected me. How are you gonna prove or disprove that?
Well, they only get so many. It's not like they get 90 of them. Anyway, they're within their timeline still right now.
All right, so no hiccups, no overruns, no problems?
No, it actually will come under budget.
All right, very cool. Well, number 5, and I did miss the last meeting, so I saw you got some agreements with AC, whatever. If you guys could just update me, even going back a month and then to now, I would appreciate it.
So as of everything for well number 5, Brian and I went out on a nature hike through the national forest out there, and we found a couple of new spots where we think we're interested in, and Leslie's talking to Akron about those locations.
Location north,
And so, once those locations are okay, then we'll be able to clear spots to get there and do our test wells. And then we'll be able to let you know from there.
Yeah, I heard back from her today. She submitted the maps for information. She thinks it'll be okay to be allowed to clear, but she just wants to make sure with her director that,
We're moving about as fast as we can possibly go.
it's swampy where you were?
No, it's up on the high ground. It's really, really thick brush. So we'll get a wet axe and make a.
6 foot?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Seen the alligators?
No,
All right, any other discussion on that, or? All right. Catch basin repair?
catch basin repair, I just talked to Groundworks Construction yesterday. They're just waiting to clear up some of their books. He's supposed to meet with me either the end of this week or the beginning of next week, and they'll start punching some of these out. The most important ones we have right now, there's a couple in Glen Valley at the end on that cul-de-sac that are falling in. Most of the ones on West High Street are bad and caving in, and then we have probably a good 4 that are emergency in Woodlawn.
I saw you had, yeah. Okay, but all under schedule, all within budget, and ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
Beautiful. Now, where's that on the budget?
Are there any,
Catch basin,
are you doing any on Woodsong?
yes.
I know, so I drove there today, and it's like, as soon as you go up there, I mean, it looks like the first one you come to, it looks like it's,
There's a couple. Ben, there's probably 8 there that need it, but I'll probably only be able to get 4 now.
One of them's near Janet Kaufman's house in Liebenauer residence. I know that general area there.
I tried to
You
do
guys did
4 a
fix
year in
one.
there,
Did you
just
do
trying to
one
get them done.
in Knox, sir, did we do that, or did Speak?
Yeah, no, we did it, yeah.
That was a big project on that one.
all right, Scott, so to answer your question, you have $15,000 left in the sidewalks. That's what we transfer in
Okay,
for that program.
but there's 15,000 left?
That's what we transfer in. We've spent $450. It looks like.
So there's still money in that fund for
Yeah.
this year, for those projects?
Joe, do you have an average what it costs to fix one of those? It's,
Depends on the size.
I understand that, I mean, just like,
If we can punch it out and you don't need new steel, it's about 2,200. If it ends up being like that big one that was out in front of the board office, that's about 38. So they're right about 2,200 to 2,800 bucks.
I imagine that one at Knox and Woodsong was more, because there was a lot of concrete involved in
A
that.
lot of concrete and, got to readjust all that metal.
Yeah,
You got to go all the
that's-
way down to get that old stuff out and you got to form it in. But we punch them out as
That's-
fast as we
yeah.
can.
All right, crack seal program?
Crack seal program, the pricing is looking really good on this. We'll probably be able to get 2 pellets of material of the black crack sealer, 1 pellet of the granulated gray material that we'll be able to do some concrete repairs for, Glen Valley, Woodsong, and the municipal parking lot. I'm just waiting for some time. It takes 4 people to crack seal. It takes 1 guy to drive the truck, 1 guy to blow the cracks out in front, 1 guy to seal them in the back, and another truck to follow in the back with cones and water. So it's hard when you only have 4 employees. So,
anybody applied,
yeah,
any part-times?
no, not for part-time. A couple guys have applied for full-time, but that's it.
Guys have applied for full-time?
Yes, for full-time, but we only have a part-time position right now open.
That be for the street sidewalk department?
So we'll get it. I'll get it. I'm usually out there. I did the last program with them. It takes us about a week to hit all the roads that we like to hit, you know, and keep everything together.
We don't run a machine for that, or we do?
They actually give us the machine. We buy the material.
Okay.
So believe it or not, a pallet of material is like $1,950.
So spend 5-6 grand on this and repair a bunch. Cool. All right, sidewalk repairs.
Sidewalk repairs, we have some more coming up over by Yoder. And looks like from the list I received today, probably some in Glen Valley.
Yeah, a lot of people
No promises,
obviously
though.
walk around there. So that's what I wanted to just see is what your thoughts were as far as this year or, you know,
I'll get down
budgeting
there. I
it
wanted
for
to get
next
down there
year.
and look at them today before we talked here, but I didn't get a chance. I'll get down there. I'll mark some out. I'll find the worst ones of the worst and get them repaired. I'll try to hit at least half.
Okay, yeah, these were all like, you know, inch and a half even, you know, the ones that are half, I didn't even, you know, I try not to write down 30 of them,
No,
but
it's
like
okay,
these are
but
the,
believe it or not, those are good for us to repair because they're hard on the plow.
right, oh yeah, they've all.
Sidewalk plow.
Well, you can tell which direction the plows go.
Yeah.
Because some it skims right over and lands, and the other one, it's chunking
They're
hard.
lifted, not just cracked.
Oh yeah, they're lifted. None of these are really cracks. I didn't even write down any of the ones that were cracked if they were flat. Yeah, because you could write down 50 of them.
Use that polyurethane that they put underneath it to lift it.
It's cheaper just to replace it.
Without redoing
Yeah.
it. There's streets with that.
No.
Tree lawn.
Oh,
Not really.
It's kind of sad, you know, yeah. We're dealing with it in other communities where the trees cause these things to move all over the place,
Yeah,
so. And then if you replace them, you gotta cut the roots,
right.
so.
Yeah, when we've put a ban on tree lawn trees in the village, but there are probably, I don't know, 20 in Glen Valley, maybe more, that, you know, pre-existed.
But they're not huge. I mean, the ones that we're having problem with, you
Yeah,
know.
no.
There's a couple that
These
are
aren't
big,
causing
but
problems.
No, it's not like Lyndhurst where you got the canopy of trees and every sidewalk is, yeah, it's not like that at all. All right, but yeah, if you could take a look at it and if we can do it, and if we can't get to it this year, if we could, you know, plan it for next year, whatever you can do, but
I'll be able to punch them out.
cool. All right, new business, the adjustment journal. We didn't have any. That's a beautiful thing.
Correct, there was none for May.
I motion to approve the none. EV charging station. This is still planned for over by the Scouts building?
Yeah, so we're slowly getting in, the pieces are being delivered to Village Hall. So it'll be installed here soon by the company. It's going to have the village logo on the bottom emblem of it, so just the seal. It's going to be there in a black and white color. And then we actually got the signs today. So it'll look nice, I think, and it may bring people. It may just be that it sits there, but I did want to start everybody's conversations about what direction do you want to go as far as what do you want to charge for using it? Or do you want to charge for using it?
absolutely.
Well, the
So I
village
kinda
is paying
sent-
what, 10 grand was it for this? Something like that?
Yes, so I sent in the packet, there's kind of like a little white paper that kind of, from the company that makes the electric vehicle charging stations, ChargePoint, they've kind of give you an outline of how to figure out what to charge.
This thing's going over by the Boy Scout building?
Yes.
By, why there? I'm
So
just-
that was the site that was located as the best site due to it's on public property. It's within walking distance of some
Okay.
stores and shops. And it's in a park setting, so where people could like sit. and
Okay,
look.
Can you
I'm
pay
good.
for
I
this
just
with an
wondered why,
app?
doesn't matter to me.
I'm
You
sorry?
Scan an app, can you scan with this?
Yeah, they
Have an
do
app?
have an app. They do have an app available.
How
Once
many
we-
stations are we, charging units are we gonna have there?
So this is one station that has 2 ports. So think of it as a
To be
gas
able to
pump with
charge
2 pumps.
2 cars at one time?
You could, yes.
And once we pay the 10 grand or whatever it was for this, we don't pay this other company anything beyond that? That's an investment and we're done, or?
You do have, it is required by the grant that we received to pay for part of it. There was the 5-year software that you have to maintain on it,
Okay,
which also prints the reports that the EPA wants back. But it is like it's a software that would help us too, because we would know who's using it, who's not, should we adjust our pricing?
Gotcha.
that type of stuff. So there is a 5-year commitment on that software.
So I know the people that have used these, you can look at it and find out where they're located. If you're got up your car, you can, okay, what's this closest?
Yeah.
So we'll be listed, so people have cars.
Yeah, that's part of this program. That we have to be registered. That is part of that EPA program. It's kind of nice. We went directly to this program as opposed to going through like another intermediary. Yeah, that maybe
Now,
received.
are we going to charge people for that? How's that going to work? Because there's a lot of information there about how to charge
Right,
people
that's
for
what I wanted this
using it.
committee to discuss tonight,
Oh.
or just start discussing.
So what are we paying for a kilowatt?
So,
What are we paying?
right, we
sure
don't
we're paying
have
more than
the
7
average
cents.
cost, correct. It's around 0.066. Let me pull up my paperwork that I have.
I'm assuming those are
15
fast
15 cents,
chargers,
15 cents.
Mr. Mayor?
What?
I'm assuming those are fast chargers?
These are not the,
Not the super fast.
not
but
the
they're-
superchargers, so, yeah.
The most chargers I've ever seen anywhere was when I was in Colorado 2 years ago. They're everywhere there.
Our cost will be around 10 cents per hour, roughly, which is about 66 cents per hour. They said that they normally take about 6.6 kilowatts per hour of charge. That's how much kilowatts they use. And then I had him pull, and when him, I say Sam from EV United, that's the company that's installing it, some rates from around Ohio. He also wanted to point out that a typical hour charge can also be equivalent to 1 gallon of gas, too.
Kilowatt hours equivalent to 1 gallon of gas?
An hour of charge, which would be about 6.6 kilowatt hours.
Yeah, I read that whole thing, and if, it seems like if you
Cost.
charge too much, it's going to cost them more to have the electric car than a gas car. So where's,
Yeah, and I would have to actually pull, with that statement, just so we're clear, I would actually have to pull out those extra taxes that are in a gas cost to get the actual true apples and apples
I
equivalent.
don't know, like everything else, the gas fluctuates with the wind, I guess.
That
the
and
price of.
gasoline per gallon has certain roadway gas taxes that are assessed, whereas an electric vehicle charging station does not have those, so you want to pull those out to make sure that you are comparing apples and apples, not apples and oranges.
Somebody gives free 2 hours and then charges after that?
I would assume that's probably in a high usage area. I would make that educated assumption. Or it's in a shopping mall where they're trying
We should
to.
get 100% markup. Seriously, if we pay 10 cents a kilowatt, we should get 20 cents. So it gives us 10 cents for our investment.
Well, how do they,
It's cheaper than what I was gonna
Still-
say.
what do you do, is it set up for a credit card or debit card type thing?
Yeah, you would pay through an app.
Well,
What's a typical kilowatt charge? Kilowatts.
She said 6 an hour.
Oh, 6,
It's about 10 cents for a commercial rate.
That's,
we're charging by the kilowatt, not by the hour.
Correct.
Your choice on how you.
It's your choice on how you do it.
So what if somebody comes up and can pull more kilowatts per hour? Is that possible?
No, because
No,
it'll only
we-
it'll only kick out so much.
Yeah, your unit is
Electric works.
only able to charge
It
at
can
what it
draw
is.
more.
Similar to like a charger you have for your phone, you can't manipulate that.
$1.40, $1.40 an hour, right? That's about what gas is without tax.
Right. That's about what I was thinking.
that hour means an hour that the car can drive?
No, charges for an hour.
Charge hour.
So if somebody comes here to charge up, they got to park there for an hour or longer?
There we
Oh,
can
yeah.
walk or something. You don't-
That's why they strategically
Welcome to
place
the new
them.
world of cars.
And my son-in-law goes, we go to dinner. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
couple hours.
Yeah, until I like started doing this and then I started
Tesla?
actually looking at where they were placed, you can see they're strategically placed in certain areas.
Yeah. Well, I agree with Ben. It ought to be a pretty sizable markup because we definitely want to get our investment back. Otherwise, why have it? You know, how
I
many
think it's gonna be a thing like
raw?
columbariums. You're gonna get 10 cars a month if you're lucky.
Yeah.
We're not gonna, it's not gonna be a profit center for us anyway, but I think we should
I don't think in the near future, but in the distant future, once they do get that corridor, if the US still has that planned in, this area is where it comes through, and you already have the charging station there, so.
Yeah.
point are we going to be competing with private? I mean, I can anticipate those charging stations being installed at various gas stations.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll be competing with private.
Nobody can beat the government because we got taxpayer money.
You can manipulate